Welcome to TRENDSPARK. Here is the newest signal spark. Today's topic is how robots and AI really build your smartphone. Before this phone reached your hand, machines printed microscopic solder patterns, placed components faster than an eye can follow, scanned for defects, and routed work through a factory that may never switch off. So is this really a product built by artificial intelligence? Or is AI factory the newest label for automation we already had? Let's follow a smartphone backward, from the sealed box to the chip, and separate the robots, the AI, and the people. Start with the first myth. A smartphone does not come from one factory. Its minerals are refined. Its glass, cameras, memory, displays, batteries, radio parts, and processors are made by specialist suppliers, and final assembly happens somewhere else. The OECD says electronic supply chains can run through as many as 10 tiers, while Apple's own supplier list spans companies and manufacturing locations across Asia, Europe, and the Americas. The object feels singular. The production system is anything but. That distinction matters because automation is uneven. A cutting-edge chip fab may move wafers in sealed carriers with barely a hand in sight, while a downstream supplier loads trays, changes tools, checks cosmetics, or packs parts manually. Even within one campus, one line can be highly autonomous and the next can depend on operators. When a polished factory tour shows the most robotic 10 seconds, it may be accurate and still leave out most of the journey. At the chip end, automation is extreme, but automated still does not automatically mean AI. Photolithography tools, chemical processes, wafer handling, and measurement systems repeat tightly controlled steps. TSMC says it is evolving from an automated fab into an intelligent fab, using machine learning for dispatching, equipment tuning, process control, diagnosis, maintenance, and quality inspection. That is AI acting as a nervous system around extraordinarily specialized machines, not an algorithm physically carving a processor by itself. The main circuit board begins with solder paste printed through a stencil. Inspection checks that deposit before pick-and-place machines set tiny components at speed. The board then travels through a reflow oven, where the paste melts into electrical joints, followed by more optical inspection and electrical testing. Industry training from IPC describes that print, place, and reflow sequence. Equipment maker ASMPT documents the inspection software wrapped around it. This is classic automation, fast, repeatable, and measurable. Later, robots can dispense adhesive, move assemblies, position parts, tighten fasteners, and carry phones between stations. They are brilliant wherever geometry is stable and the job repeats. But many robot cells still follow programmed paths and sensor rules. Calling every one of them AI is like calling an automatic door a philosopher because it noticed you. Useful? Absolutely. Intelligent in the modern machine learning sense? Not necessarily. Where AI earns the name is inspection. A camera sees thousands of surfaces, solder joints, or alignment points. A model scores what looks abnormal, and questionable units are diverted for review. Foxconn reported that one unsupervised visual inspection system on handheld device lines raised reporting accuracy from 95 to 99% and cut the defect inspection workforce in that case by half. That is the company's case study, not a universal law, but it shows the real value, finding subtle patterns at production speed. AI also works one level above the camera. It can predict a motor failure, adjust schedules when a part is late, compare a live line with a digital twin, and help engineers trace why yields suddenly changed. Samsung's 2026 strategy names quality, production, logistics, predictive maintenance, digital twins, and AI agents as targets on the road to AI-driven factories. Notice the date in the promise. The company says it is transitioning its global manufacturing by 2030. The future tense matters. If you like technology without the marketing fog, subscribe to TRENDSPARK. One signal, carefully tested. Then comes reliability. Phones are dropped, tumbled, heated, cooled, soaked, flexed, folded, and measured. Samsung's reliability lab describes drop, durability, waterproofing, heat, and acoustic tests across many devices. For the Galaxy Z Trifold, Samsung says automated stations align key assemblies. Three-dimensional laser scanning checks the surface. CT imaging examines a flexible circuit board, and the hinge survives a 200,000 cycle folding test. These are powerful automated tests. People still decide what failure means and what design change follows. Now the phrase that makes headlines, the dark factory. In manufacturing, it means a facility, or sometimes just a line, that can operate with very few people on the floor, so lights and heating are less important. Foxconn has described a fully automated mobile phone assembly line in Japan. But one line is not the chain that made every component, maintained every tool, approved every supplier, repaired every exception, or moved the finished phone across the world. Dark describes where people are not standing. It does not prove people are no longer required.
Quick signal check. When a factory says AI, do you picture smarter tools or no people at all?
Because the humans have not vanished, many have moved. Technicians change consumables and recalibrate equipment. Engineers debug yields and validate new processes. Operators handle unusual parts, rework, and model changeovers. Quality teams investigate the units an inspection model cannot confidently classify. Supplier managers chase late components. Logistics workers move material. And people still perform large amounts of electronics work where variation, dexterity, judgment, or labor cost make full automation difficult. The scale is visible in the company's own reporting. Apple's 2026 supply chain report describes weekly working hours reviews covering more than 1.4 million supplier employees, along with manufacturing skills and robotics training. The International Labor Organization describes a global electronics industry employing millions of women and men. Automation changes tasks and bargaining power. It does not erase the workforce with one software update. The harder question is who gains the productivity and who carries the disruption. For buyers, the practical benefits are real. Better process control can mean fewer defects. Predictive maintenance can prevent a drifting machine from spoiling a batch. Machine vision can spot faults humans would miss at line speed. Automated traceability can identify which station touched a failed unit. But the logo AI made tells you almost nothing by itself. Ask about repairability, reliability data, worker standards, supplier transparency, and whether the manufacturer explains what its AI actually does. So, is your smartphone built by AI? The accurate answer is, it is built with robots, through a global human supply chain, and increasingly managed by AI-assisted systems. The robots supply speed and precision. AI supplies prediction, classification, and coordination. People supply design, maintenance, judgment, exception handling, and accountability. A truly autonomous end-to-end phone factory remains a claim to prove, not the default reality hiding inside your pocket. What worked in this investigation? What should we change? And which technology claim should TRENDSPARK test next? Tell us below. The full source ledger is in the description. Thanks for watching.